Hey, paisanos, it's me, Hamish Steele, and welcome to another Super Mario moment. In fact, welcome to the Season 1 finale of Super Mario Moment. That's right. We are going to do 10 episode seasons. I've never really explained this before, but in order to keep up the high quality of weekly guest-driven conversation, I've built little breaks in. So we will be back with season 2 in October. Don't worry, we won't be back. Won't be gone long. But now we are going to talk about one of the most important games in the Mario franchise. It is many people's absolute favorite, including, I believe, my guest. And we are going to start by introducing our guest in a slightly unusual way. This guest is actually the first person I DM'd to ask to be on the show many, many moons ago to see if this show could actually work. She is an incredible game developer, animator, pixel artist, and all-round good person and bigger Mario fan than I could ever dream to be. And to introduce my guest, we will be showing a little bit from their animated show, shall we say, Super Bowser World, and it is absolutely appropriate for the kind of podcast we like to strive for here. I present to you a clip from Bye Bye Bowser.
Hi. This is really hard for me to be vulnerable like this. And I don't know how you'll react to this, but I'm, bye.
Great. Now we must tend to the chain chomps. They get fussy if we don't walk them.
Oh, so you're cool with the fact that I'm down with the gents and the ladies?
Did I give you the impression I wouldn't be?
No, not like that. I've just been practicing in my head for so long, and I just thought it would be a bigger deal. Once you come out, it's hard to go back in, if you know what I'm saying.
Sire, we might be the bad guys, but we're not bad guys. The Bowser Army has been extremely inclusive over the years. You made our health insurance cover medical costs so that Birdette's HRT was covered. Petey Piranha is hella gay. Spike is gender fluid. The Renzas are polyamorous. And Charge and Chuck is a he-him lesbian. We had a pride parade last week, and it's March. I'm just saying, it's not like it was a secret to everybody.
So everybody already knows. Oh boy. That explains Mario at his last party.
Heading out? So long, Gay Bowser.
What did you say?
So long, King Bowser.
You know, for arch enemies, it's kind of weird he invites us to all his events, isn't it?
Hello! I am joined today by Izzi8Bit. Thank you for letting me show that. It's go watch the whole thing on YouTube if you haven't. They're absolutely adorable. Thank you for being on the show.
Oh no, thank you for having me. I'm super stoked.
For those who don't know you, let's get to know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Izzi8Bit or Izzi Rae. I'm a pixel artist, animator, game dev now, which is super exciting. I am just a girl that likes to make pixel art, and I really like Mario. And man, I had like an actual thing ready for this, and then when it's time, it just brain drain. It just comes out of the ear. But yeah, no, I'm a pixel artist, animator. I've been on the internet for a long time. I've been in different little projects you probably heard about if you're around my age. I'm 35 now. Yeah, I'm 35. I had to double check. I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. This is such a chill podcast so far. Like the vibes. I haven't done a podcast since the pizza party.
Well, I get nervous before hitting record every single episode, and it's one of these crazy things where, as an autistic gay comic artist who does nothing but stay inside and play games, I decided to also, for fun, socially interact with people I don't know super well over the internet. It is now We've at least been mutuals for a long time, and we actually got to meet each other a year ago, I think.
It was about a year ago. I think I was wearing the same dress.
You looked exactly as expected you to, so perhaps you were. And we went for some nice spicy food and then some very messy ice cream, I believe.
Yeah, we did ice cream, and then afterwards, you drew a JSON in my book because it was a book signing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank you for coming to that. No, it was very nice. I'm always happy to know I've got friends on all sides of the globe. And I've just been always impressed by you from afar, and not only because of your incredible work and your versatility with pixel art. I can't stress enough. I'm actually going to show a little example of that in a second. Okay. But you're not like a lot of pixel artists have their style, their preferred, preferred style. You obviously do as well, but you are able to. You're a master impressionist. Like, you're able to take any game style and recreate it perfectly.
I wouldn't call it perfectly, but I do a pretty good job because, like, no matter what, it's never going to be a perfect in style to that game because I'm not the artist from that game. Yeah. Because like they will have I get in my head about it all the time. But I'm pretty good at making a chameleon, something that can blend in. And like, I think you could probably put some of what you're about to show in the games that they're art style for, and you wouldn't question it. You'd be like, oh.
Well, yeah, one of the things you do really well is that you won't, if you're doing, for example, a sprite for like Mega Man, you're not going to recolor a Mega Man sprite, which is what you typically see online. You reimagine what, they would have. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce #Bowser posting, which I believe you did a Peach one as well.
I did do a short stint of Peach. I wasn't enjoying Peach as much as I was enjoying Bowser, so it wasn't because like Bowser I did total. I think the poster is 50 of them, but like I did 64 Bowsers in different video game art styles. Yeah. 64 for obvious reasons.
Yeah. I picked just very selfishly my favorite sprites to show. They're not, you've got some which are crazy. You've got some which from like Final Fantasy, which is so detailed and so. I've chosen the kind of short, stubby, cute ones because they're my favorite. But I am starting with this one. For those who don't know, I'll give viewers 3 seconds to guess what it's from. 1, 2, 3. This is Pokemon Gen 1. And I love it because all those sprites are a little squiffy, or like, I don't know how else to describe it. And this
janky. They're a little janky. You have to have a little jank for old school sprites.
Yeah. And I think this captures it perfectly. Also, they're so like combative. Like, is it the tentacle one that's just kind of like charging at you? Or
yeah.
It's very different from the kind of like still T-posing they sometimes do these days.
Yeah, just the idle of just like bobbing up and down that they do. Yeah. No, they used to have like in-action shots that like made you excited to battle the Pokemon.
I'm this next one.
Of course.
I love this is of course Duck Hunt. And one of the reasons I like this is because I grew up with the Mario Brothers Duck Hunt combo pack, and I bet if modern Nintendo had done that, Duck Hunt would have actually been a shooting paratroopers game or something, and the dog would have been Bowser or something like that. So I like this as a kind of weird alt history. It reminds me of when the Game & Watch gallery games would like put the Mario characters into old games where they didn't quite belong.
Yeah, the Game & Watch, it was like the Game Boy Advance series, right? Or maybe it started in the Game Boy Color. I had one of those as a kid growing up. I don't like Game & Watches that much.
I have one guest who, Drew Green, from a previous episode, who I think it might be the Game & Watch's #1 fan. No one else I really know goes back and plays them by choice.
That's cool. Yeah, Drew Green. I love him. I met him a couple of times too.
Nice. I'm one day I'll assemble a like super fan round table where we'll all discuss the most niche aspects of the series.
And all 5 people watching will love it.
I had to show this one because we covered Super Mario Land 2 a few weeks ago, and we talked a lot about the appeal of Wario's design in that game. And I think you captured the the zaniness of that design, where I feel Wario in that game doesn't look just like evil and mean. He looks like deranged in a way that is very charming, and I think you captured it here.
Yeah, like it's not jank this time, but it's definitely like it has to be slightly off model for it to like really get that Nintendo charm. And that's so weird because now they're super on model all the time to the point where it's almost boring to look at some stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And then finally, I only put this in because this is my actual favorite sprite you did. And it's one that's a bit of the rogue choice. And this is from the game Eastward, that is very, very charming and genuinely like one of the best looking games, I think.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. I don't buy a lot of games from graphics alone, like, but that was the game that I bought because I'm a pixel artist and I was going to enjoy every second of what was on screen. I knew it from the trailers, and the game is so good.
It's amazing. I mean, I love the sprites so much as well. Just the proportions are very appealing to me, shall we say. And I don't know, that's almost the like ideal Bowser in my head.
I like the little beady eyes. I think just little dots.
Definitely, if any of those sort of tickled your fancy, go to Izzi8Bit at Blue Sky and click on the hashtag Bowser posting. Have a great time.
Trying to get it to my camera's blurring. Rude.
It's found you. It's found
itself. Yeah, I highly recommend if you want to see the Bowser posting, I have a hashtag Bowser posting for it, so that if you wanted to not look at my other stuff for whatever reason, jerk, you can just look at the Bowser and the Peach posting through the hashtag.
Well, you should definitely check out the rest of your stuff because it's amazing, and I'd love you to take a moment to talk about what you're doing right now in your game.
Okay, so I am working on a proof of concept demo that comes out in October. I'm really excited. The game's basically done except for a little polishing here and there and voices, like not voices, sorry. The trailer is going to have voice acting in it. So I just like sent off for voices and getting those back. So that's what's on my mind. But the game is a 2D platformer. It's a retro themed, so like all the characters, all the characters in the video game are like 8-bit style. So like they're made of 4 colors, black, white, and then 2 colors. So it's very like Game Boy Color esque, or just retro. Except for the backgrounds. The backgrounds have a lot of detail, but they're like sepia toned, where like they're like 2-tone colors usually, so they still have the same vibe. But anyways, it's a clown game. You play as a clown. I've talked about the game. I haven't mentioned the main character. You play as Sunny Belle. She's a little yellow and red clown, and her circus gets ransacked by an evil posse of clowns. And so she has to go and I guess it's a revenge story. It's cute and lighthearted. It's fun. I'm not explaining it very well.
No, it's very, very charming. And I saw you recently taking clown Sona submissions, and I felt like I've missed out on this whole subculture that I've been like. I love clown characters in games, and I'm always sort of confused why I guess people don't. But this is like the zenith of that.
Have you seen the clown copter that I did? I don't know if I posted it online yet, but I basically have a Koopaling set of clowns. So like there's Pippi Shortfuse, who's like a Harley Quinn style clown with bombs. So she's kind of like a Bomberman type thing. Not Bomberman. What's the Poppy the little things from Kirby that throw bombs?
Oh, I don't know Kirby enemies. I'm a Mario podcast guy.
Yeah. Wrong podcast. Sorry. So there's Pippi Shortfuse, which is like a little pink clown girl with bombs. There's Misbehave, which is the e-girl clown, which is my favorite. Because I don't know, I've been on the internet. I see things. There's a lot of cute girls now dressing up as clowns on, subreddits and Twitters and stuff. Subreddits and Twitters. I'm talking like a like an old person. There's Patty, who's a fast food clown. There's Stilts, which is a combination of horror clowns and also those like tall mannequins you can buy at Home Depot that are like clowns or skeletons and stuff. So it's like a really tall clown. There's Silly the Kidder, which is the rodeo clown. So like I have like a set of Koopaling styled clowns, and they have a big clown copter that they all sit in together, and the propeller is a bow tie. It's so cute.
I mean, what a great thing to talk about on this episode of all episodes, the Mario World episode.
I was totally not inspired by Super Mario World.
when Bowser's clown copter flew towards you as a child, something changed within you.
Oh man, that boss battle. I think Super Mario World might have been the first game that I beat as a kid.
That sounds incredible, and I will definitely post as much about the game as I can when this episode drops, and obviously when the game goes live. I'm very, very excited. It's really up my street, and it's so nice seeing pixel artists go from essentially making fan content or things inspired by all those art styles to making something themselves that it's like all the knowledge being funneled through into I don't know. It's just amazing to see. I'm very excited.
I will say coding is the devil. I don't like coding. Because like I decided to make a game because I wanted to make a game and I got tired of waiting to find a programmer. It's one of those things where it's like you either have to find somebody that like likes your idea enough with you that wants to program it, or you have to pay somebody. And like I'm not in the financial place where I can drop a bunch of money onto somebody to program the game. So I said, screw it. I'll take Godot. I'll learn Godot. I can do this. There's tutorials on the internet, and a year and a half later, I have a demo. So
you're a stronger person than I. I've only ever made half a game in RPG Maker. I've yet to cross the barrier into true coding knowledge.
There's one program that I was kind of interested in. I forgot the name of what it is, but it doesn't. It's a like visual coding, so it's not like typing out stuff. It's more like menus and things. My friend Skull Pixel, they created a game called Hell World using that particular thing. But I don't know. I like Godot being free. It's an open source engine, so like no matter what, I own everything that I did. In my game, I don't have to like pay a license fee or anything. Unity can't come out of nowhere and change how they do stuff, and you're just screwed. So I don't know. I'm happy with Godot.
Amazing. To sort of do a bit of a zag back to Bowser. Before we get onto the main game, I did want to talk a little bit about your Bowser collection, obsession, intrigue. What is it specifically about Bowser that you love?
So I don't know what happened. I legitimately don't. There's not like a big origin story. I just I ended up having a couple of Bowser figures, and I was just like, I want to collect these. This would be cool. Because I don't know. Legitimately, I'm struggling to find what makes me love Bowser so much. Maybe he's just the dad I never had. Because he's such a good dad. But he's a lovable character. I love that they're willing to like do anything with him. So like he's not just a big scary monster. That would have been really easy to stay with it, but he has a duology or there's dual. I can't say words.
Yeah.
Because you have like the RPGs where they like make him like super like cartoony and like a crybaby, and like there's just so much to Bowser compared to especially other Mario characters. Like there's not really a lot to Mario. He's just kind of a whoa, I'm a guy. Versus like Bowser's like a dad, a warlord, a war criminal.
I mean, yeah, I always liked Bowser, growing up in the first few games, but the combo of Paper Mario and Mario Sunshine, which Paper Mario for me, I didn't play RPG growing up, but
Okay.
they did the same thing where I guess because Mario is such a void of personality, all the other characters have to pick up the slack. And then in Paper Mario, you spend much more time getting to know Bowser, I feel like, than you do Mario, even though you're playing as him. And then Sunshine introduces this dad element. And it feels like the final little pieces that feel like they were always there, but were kind of canonized in a really nice way. Because I think we both like the Mario comics and stuff, and he's a funny character in those. It's like his design is definitely he's covered in spikes and chokers, and he's so scary, but he's also so cute. And I think comic artists and the RPG writers just ran with that because you can't take him too seriously because he's so squishy and round. You could have taken it the other route and keep making him more evil, more scary. But even in games like Galaxy, where he's trying to destroy the universe, you can't you kind of feel like all he needs is a little bump on the head and to be told off. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll come to your party.
That and the way they portray his army loving him too. Like it's not like they're not scared of him. It's not like we have to behave. It's like we believe in Bowser. Bowser's they legitimately love their leader, and you don't see that a lot in other stuff, because usually they try to play the villain straight, and as we know, Bowser's not.
Of course not. Before we get onto the game, I did want to briefly talk about other characters from the franchise that you love, because you're one of the few guests who knows, well, no, I don't want to throw the other guests under the bus, but you really know the deep cuts intimately. And one of the reasons I showed so much of that clip earlier is originally I cut it before Mario's party scene, but that is so filled with references to a bizarre degree. You remember that Elvira is part of the Mario universe, canonically. And
I think she's hanging out with Sergeant Slaughter in the short.
I just want to talk a little bit about the deep cuts of the Mario universe and what appeals.
To so in another short, there's Friendly Floyd, who I like to think I brought him back into the public consciousness a little bit, because there was definitely people like, holy crap, that's Friendly Floyd, and there are other people being like, who is this? But with that particular short, I wanted to explain Bowser's clown copter, because apparently I'm obsessed with it, and because it's such a stupid.
There's no explanation in this game. You'd think that the final boss of a game set in dinosaur land might have something to do with dinosaurs, but it's just like, nope, clowns.
Clown copter, a cute little happy face, a murder happy face. And so I wanted to reconceptualize that. And I needed a car salesman, and I could have created an original character, but at the same time, there's just this history of Mario that most people don't know. General audiences, obviously the internally online people like us know a lot about it. But the general person that's currently playing Super Mario World that's 12 has no clue what these characters are. And I like to, I don't know, I think it gives it flavor. It helps build the world a little bit more of Mario, to actually acknowledge these characters and bring them back and let them be reoccurring elements.
Yeah, I mean, we're the same age, and I feel like we're from Gen 1 Mario. I mean, maybe we missed out a little bit on the arcades and stuff. Maybe we're Gen 2. But I feel we're from a time before the series sort of standardized and the design of everything kind of became uniform.
It's so sterile.
It is. I think they're starting to kind of have a bit more fun bit by bit. But there was definitely a real sterile period. And I think for us, you know, when the games were so basic and they didn't have huge cutscenes and everything, the comics and the cartoons and everything, they were as real as the games, and they filled in those gaps.
I have a friend, Callus, who's super into Sonic, so we have a lot of Sonic conversations. And like, I grew up with the Archie stuff, you know, like which you didn't because you're from the UK.
No, Sonic the comic.
so and Callus is French. So like, she has no idea who Sally Acorn is or Bunny Rabbit and these, and those are like Friendly Floyd for Sonic characters. You know, they're and so like we argue all the time about it, be like, oh, they should bring back that character. No, that character's not canon. Only the IDW comics are canon.
I didn't grow up with Nintendo Power comics. I read them sort of online first time around. The comics I had were the Valiant comics, which are they published that weird like Mario Land set in the real world comic. Do you know about that one?
I don't think I know about that one. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Bizarre. It's a all the characters from Mario Land like break out into the real world and invade Earth through a Game Boy. It's very weird. And there's a character in that who's my Friendly Floyd, and he's called Stanley the Talking Fish, and his whole thing is just that he shows up in a panel and goes, "Hi, I'm Stanley the Talking Fish," and everyone finds him infuriating. And there's a whole comic about how he's just hanging out with Wendy O. Cooper, who's like sunbathing on the beach, and he's like, "Hey, want to hang out?" And I think he's meant to be a Trouter from Mario Brothers 2, but he's also like looks a bit like a generic Shark Tale. Like,
oh, I have read this comic with the fish. I totally forgot about it, but yeah, no, what a design.
Yeah, really, I mean,
goofy looking.
It's just like, to me, those characters were like, when I was a kid, I didn't really understand why Stanley the Talking Fish wasn't going to be in Mario Kart. You know, I just was like, it's all Mario. Yeah. I feel sometimes, the 12-year-olds playing now maybe are missing out on some of that, like, loose canon licensed.
Have you seen the trivia cards that came out around that time too?
I'm not sure.
There's these trivia cards that like are super like awkward now. If you go back, because like there's like Mario studies religions, and so like, Mario's like multi-religious. He's like
there's like one of Mario reading about the Holocaust gasping. And he's like, Mario reading about World War II, and he's like, "Oh no, Mamma Mia!" It's really weird.
Or like, there's one panel about the Civil War, and Luigi's on the side that wants slaves, and it's like, Luigi, no.
I mean, these characters are very thin. Like, now we can say one of the few things we know about Luigi is that he, believes the South will rise again. Yeah, I like all that. I mean, that stuff maybe not, but I do miss a little bit of that. I've had a couple of guests on who we talked about trying to make the kind of IDW version of the Mario comics, and I feel you can sort of tell from the Mario movie as well that like they are holding that chain very tightly, and it's pretty impossible to have fun with the property in the way that they used to.
Yeah, we don't get one-off characters or like these it's kind of like the Paper Mario games where they used to have like they would take like a Mario enemy and then make a character out of it, versus now it's just the Mario enemy with a name.
Yeah, just the bum.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not, I miss localization.
I know weird translations. They gave us Burdette. I think this is the perfect time to go back to a simpler time and talk about Super Mario World. And I'm going to start by playing a great Japanese commercial for it.
Okay.
Konnichiwa, konnichiwa, Super Famicom. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa, Mario no Demanda. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa, Mario no Kuni kara. お尻に火がつく面白さ、スーパーマリオブラザーズ4、スーパーファミコンでいよいよデビュー。
Bowser was terrifying.
I know. We were talking about how cute and cuddly he is. That's the scariest Bowser I've ever seen.
It really is. Like that's a horror Bowser. That's scarier than the Final Fantasy one that I made.
Yeah, for those just listening on audio, imagine like the sort of horrifying stop motion of like Howard the Duck and Willow and stuff, but as Bowser waking up and burning you to death with his flame breath. Also, that was more of an advert for the Super Nintendo or the Super Famicom, which was the obvious birthplace of Super Mario World. We are talking about Super Mario World, released in 1990. It was in Japan, and 1991 elsewhere in the world. It was the launch title for the Super Nintendo, and it had an interesting development cycle in the sense that it was actually announced before Super Mario Bros. 3 came out, and had a kind of lengthy development process because originally they had made what I assume you could really call Super Mario Bros. 3 2. It was just a kind of Super Mario Bros. 3 type game with improved graphics and everything, and they showed that off at a trade show. I'm obviously there's going to be historians in the chat who are but angry that I'm butchering everything, but this is just the clip notes, and it got a little bit of criticism as not looking impressive enough, and so they essentially went back to the drawing board in many ways and rethought the game, and that produced Super Mario World that we know and love today. So to start us off, I want to ask you, why did you choose this game of all the Mario games to talk about?
Well, obviously it's my favorite. First of all, like we're about the same age, me and the game. It turns out we were born the same year, which is cool. The game was born. He came out of the womb, Miyamoto's womb. That was gross. Cut that. Never mind.
Look, he has not disconfirmed that because he's on record as saying that he is Bowser Jr.'s mother.
It's true. So I chose Super Mario World because I have the most memories with it. Like it's not my first Mario game. I'll say that because I remember playing the original Mario game actually as an arcade at a flea market. I remember playing Super Mario Bros. 3. We had like 2 TVs in the living room. We had a big TV and a small TV. The small TV was the one me and my brother got to play. Stepbrother. Not stepbrother, it's half brother. That's anyways. But I chose Super Mario World because it's imperfectly perfect, or it's perfectly imperfect. There's a lot. It's so. As a pixel artist, most people gravitate towards Mega Man. You talked about that before, where we edit Mega Man and stuff. And for me, I always went back to Super Mario World. So like a lot of my sprites when I was learning how to make pixel art was Super Mario World. So like I've spent a lot of time in the world of it as far as the art design, which the art style is interesting. Sorry, I'm kind of veering off here. Yeah,
no, feel free.
Is this the Game Boy Advance version?
It might be because it looks very widescreen. I think it might just be stretched.
Oh, okay. But the art style, I don't know. I had an answer.
Well, I was going to ask you, as a pixel artist, does this game's design, is it part of what makes it your favorite game?
Well, that's what I'm talking about by the imperfections. Is that because it's hard to choose the rule. There's no rules with the art style for this game. That bullet bill looks like a different art style than Mario because it has thick outlines and stuff, while Mario has colored outlines. Some enemies have color outlines. Some enemies don't have outlines at all. It's whatever they wanted to do at the time, and I find that super charming. It's chaotic.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because, like I said, there was this double development process where it did originally look very different. I'm sure they changed some assets and not others. And there's some definitely odd things in this game that have, in terms of the graphics, that people have kind of debated for years, such as like Yoshi's orange arms.
I don't know why that happened. Was it just a graphical glitch, or did they want his arms to stand out?
I wonder if it is standing out because they didn't make them orange in the like art when they
No.
could have. But it reminds me a little bit of like Link's pink hair in Link to the Past, where it's a bit of an overcorrect. And similarly, like there's been long this debate about, is Mario hitting Yoshi to make him?
I think it's been confirmed that he originally the intent was punching Yoshi's head, and then they're like, "Oh, we could just add a little go sound," and so it looks like he's go.
Yeah. There's like some key art of Mario like pointing and saying go, and I think that does a lot of defense for Nintendo against Peter and stuff.
But yeah, no, he straight up just hits Yoshi's, like that's what it looks like in the game. I think the idea was that he hits the head so the tongue goes out. Like that's the thought process behind it.
But yeah, I think the graphics are beautiful, and yeah, like you say, perfectly imperfect. My sort of, it's definitely when Mario Maker sort of came out, to me it feels almost like the default, and it was definitely the default of like fan animations back in the day, and you've kind of continued that legacy now. It would feel like weird to do it in like the Mario Brothers 2 style, the Mario Land style. Like it's almost because in many ways, I know there was Yoshi's Island and other games, but it is like the end of Pixel Mario, so it's like the final evolution of it.
Well, because like I think the original Mario obviously is really janky looking, the Super Mario, and then like Mario didn't really start looking good. Well, I guess Super Mario Brothers USA #2 I think looks pretty good, the Mario sprite, but I think Mario became Mario around Super Mario Brothers 3 in the sprite form. Just super charming. I love the dot eyes. I love dot eyes on sprites. They're so cute. But then like you have Super Mario World, which you're right, it's got color. It's the most finalized, like you feel like missing color, it's too limited, versus this actually has like a palette of 16 colors. So it has detail. So it's enough for people to actually like manipulate and move around and things. But I've also seen some animations using the Mario and Luigi style.
Yeah. I mean, you do a good sort of combo. Like I didn't even like notice when watching that clip of Bye Bye Bowser that you're using Kamek from Yoshi's Island, but like modified, and everything sort of fits together. And obviously, your Bowser is like an original creation based on a few different things. How do you feel about Bowser's sprite in this game? Because it is a bit odd.
It is very odd. It's similar to like Yoshi's orange arms, where it's like, why is Bowser green in this? Because we have finalized art now. It's not like they're throwing random stuff at the wall. I wonder if it was just like it's just a bug they couldn't figure out, like a palette issue, and they just kind of left it. But I love how weird and awkward and like janky the Super Mario World Bowser looks. Obviously, that's why I based my Bowser off of it. One, because I wanted. So when I was making my pixel cartoons, I didn't want to be dorkly. That was like that was the main thing, was like I knew by default, because dorkly's the quote unquote standard for pixel animation now for people. I didn't want people to go, oh, this is just dorkly. So I tried to like take Super Mario World's art style and finalize it in my own. So like, every character has colored outlines instead of black and white outlines. I think I think Kamek might have black outlines. But like I try to like make everything coherent, because like Magic Koopas look kind of generic in Super Mario World. Yeah. Because it wasn't Kamek yet. It wasn't a character. Yeah. It was the enemy. So I did take Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island's Kamek, and try to like bring it into that universe.
I mean, you did a much better job with your Bowser than Mario Maker did with its Mario World Bowser, which is maybe the worst sprite in gaming history.
That's what inspired my Bowser, actually. Yeah. Well, it was one of those things, because like so what happened was they made the Mario Maker one, and they wanted to have the same mechanics as the other Bowsers, so he had to be the same size, had to be the same, so he could do the same thing, so you could change the style and it wouldn't have to change too much. So I understand why they didn't have the incomplete, just the top half of Bowser sprite. But I felt like you could keep the integrity of the original sprite and still keep the same size. And like, well, my first attempt was huge in comparison because it was the same size as the Super Mario World Bowser. I did take the dimensions of the Super Mario World one and kind of crunched mine down, and it still looked better.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking with the Super Mario World one. It's too complicated. That his design has to be simplified in pixel form. You can't try to get every single like little detail in there. You know, it becomes it's not charming when you can jam too much in there.
Yeah, I mean, the jankiness of the graphics, we'll move on in a second, but I love the weird colors for the Koopalings that they sorry. My phone is ringing and it's the Luigi's Mansion theme. I don't know who's trying to call me right now. I just need to shout out, like, Blue Roy Cooper is very, very charming to me. And that's all I wanted to say. Let's talk about the actual game then. I think this game is obviously a delight. I think compared to the previous games, one of the things it does very well is give you a real sense of place. Obviously, this is Mario World. And I want to talk a little bit about Dinosaur Land and the fact that they made the overworld, the map, an actual big part of the game.
Yeah, there's more exploration in this game than there is in Super Mario World, because spoilers, we're going to talk about Super Mario Bros. 3 eventually, comparing them. And I was the big thing is that like Super Mario Bros. 3 is super linear versus Super Mario World. There's so much like branching, paths. So many levels have more than one exit to them, and so there's this sense of real discovery and exploration that I don't think you saw in the franchise yet.
Yeah, and it does a really interesting thing where it will kind of tease you of where to go. Like you'll see a pipe off in the distance, or there's a bit in Choco Island or Chocolate Island where every time I play it, I seem to accidentally go through the secret exit early on, and you get like a kind of a tease of the final world, Bowser's world. And at that point, you have no idea where that even is because the entrance to it hasn't appeared. And I think that's so genius. And for this podcast, I played through the whole game, and I played through it in a few days. But as a kid, this was like years worth of exploration.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I feel like it took me months to beat the game. Now it takes me like I could beat through the whole game in one day, even not doing the skips.
Yeah,
you know, without Star World and stuff. It did seem a lot bigger as we were children.
Yeah, but it's still deceptively. It seems like you can kind of go around the circle and do all the levels, but if you want 100% it, it's still a huge challenge. And especially the Forest of Illusion, I still don't always know where I'm going or how to get out of there.
Oh, 100%.
Do you have any favorite levels or worlds?
So like I'm really emotionally attached to the early start of the game.
Yeah.
So like, you know, Yoshi's Island, specifically the left and right two choice. Like the fact that you start in the middle of a fork is a pretty good indicator that this game is going to be a little bit different, right? I love the names too. They're all like food oriented worlds. I particularly Chocolate Island. I really enjoy the fact that it looks chocolatey. Like it legitimately like has that, because I think it's using the same graphics as the early stages of the world, but just brown colored.
But it's weirdly effective.
It's super effective. And the Valley of Bowser, that whole sorry, I have a map up and I'm just like looking at elements and being excited.
Well, the Valley of Bowser is such a different vibe to the Dark World from Mario Brothers 3, which was almost too like edgelordy, trying to make you scared. Because the Valley of Bowser, again, it's this like little bit of Bowser's personality starting to hint in, because it's like a party. It's but still kind of scary. There's like a little bit of Bowser, you can see him floating in the background, and there's thunder and lightning, but just the jazzy music. I don't know how else to describe it.
Disco balls
Yeah.
in the levels too. Oh yeah, if I have to choose one level to be my favorite level, I have to choose the last one, Bowser's Castle, because it's 8 levels in one. Really, there's so much
Yeah.
replayability in that.
Yeah.
It's amazing that the devs spent so much time on things that there's possibility that gamers will not see.
Yeah, and like you want to go back and check what that was all about, and in a complimentary way, that stage is the most Mario Maker feeling kind of level, and I think it's because you can feel the developers just like having fun and like cramming as many ideas in the last moment as they can.
Yeah.
I wanted to also talk about the fact that this game introduces Yoshi and is the big selling point we haven't really mentioned yet. Do you love Yoshi or?
I do love me some Yoshi. I do want to tell one story. I knew we were going to talk about Yoshi, and I want to tell one thing is that I consider Yoshi a power up and a character, and that made a lot of people angry on Twitter a couple of years ago.
He's unmistakably a power up in this game.
Right. I mean that functionally that's what he is. He's a item / thing to jump on that changes the gameplay. You know, the gameplay mechanics in new ways. It's a power up. But I think people think of that as like you're degrading him to an item, and I'm like, well, it's a video game mechanic.
There's people obviously know about the whole like jumping off Yoshi to get a bigger jump. There's definitely a part in the game where that's the only real way to continue. Like,
one of the cheese bridge levels, you have to like jump underneath the goalpost and then jump off Yoshi to get to the next level, right?
I was thinking there's like a bit where a pipe shoots you out, and maybe I'm just really bad, but I thought you basically had to get rid of Yoshi, and like he's always happy to see you again and still remains your friend. So and you're beating him the whole time apparently, so I don't think he's even that bothered.
He's just all vibes. He has no thoughts. It's just blank Yoshi. He's kind of like a doggy.
It's kind of wild though that this power up is what they decided to base the sequel on. Like, was Yoshi as big of a deal at the time as I don't seem to remember. I mean, when looking for the Mario commercials, a lot of them featured Yoshi. There was a lot of like tie-ins of Yoshi McDonald's toys and stuff. So
maybe think of it from Nintendo's side, like from behind the scenes thing. They wanted Yoshi since the first game.
Yes.
And so like I don't know if they kept like I don't know if they like shelved it into World and they're like, hey, let's bring Yoshi back, or if they tried to like shove Yoshi into each one and it just couldn't. But I think they were just like really excited that they got this really because it is a complicated mechanic.
Yeah.
Like I imagine it really difficult to code jumping on an enemy. I say that as someone who's like learning code. Like I don't know code very well. I'm better at reading it than I am typing it. I'm very stuck with. I'm in tutorial hell, as they call it, with game devs, where like I know how to do stuff as long as there's a tutorial for it.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely proud of it because I think you can take for granted some of the stuff this game does for the first time that hadn't been done before in a Mario game, at least.
Yeah.
Such as these multiple exits and all the effects, the sort of transparency effects, the stuff that happens in the ghost house. There's some like lots of weird technical things that you don't really kind of notice are impressive playing now. But then you go back and play the NES games, and it is a massive leap. Yeah. So they must have been proud of Yoshi just in general. And then Yoshi's Island is like an even bigger leap, in my opinion, in terms of like what they do with the hardware.
Well, that and just like the art direction on Yoshi's Island is leagues ahead of Super Mario World. I say that loving Super Mario World, but like because Super Mario World feels like a tech demo sometimes. Because like you said, it shows off a lot of the effects. Like some of it feels like, okay, we have this technology, let's include it into a level, and they worked around the level that way. It feels like that sometimes.
Yeah, and this game adds a lot to the Mario universe when you think about it. We've talked about Yoshi and Magic Koopas, but it adds Wigglers and Monty Moles and Fuzzies and obviously all these dinosaurs. Do you have any favorite kind of like weird little guys that this game introduces?
I really like Mecha Koopas.
Yeah.
I think they're one of my favorite additions. I haven't really done anything with Mecha Koopas personally in my own stuff, but I that don't let that be like, oh, she doesn't love them. I absolutely do love them. I got the Lego one because I wanted a toy of it so bad.
I love the fact that the final level just introduces a bunch of new enemies, which end up becoming like, this is where the ninjas come back.
Which, by the way, are just the same sprite from Super Mario Brothers 2.
That's incredible.
They didn't change a single thing.
It's incredible that they folded Mario Brothers USA and Mario Brothers 2 into these games almost straight away, because I think the Pokies and stuff were in, and Bob-Ombs, obviously. It's always nice when you see a little, because they could have very, understandably ignored it as the black sheep, but yeah, they just put some random ninjas in the final level, and I just wonder if it's because when making the level they needed something to jump up and down, and they're like, what jumps up and down? Well, we already have this ninja sprite, put it in there.
Yeah. It didn't change a thing. I'm sorry. When I found out about that, I was that's what I'm talking about with the art style being like imperfectly perfect. This is just like, yeah, this NES sprite that works in my Super Nintendo game. That's fine.
It's interesting because in so many ways the game feels so big and polished, but then like I said, this development cycle, it must have been a last minute, because I know the game got delayed and the console got delayed a year, and I guess they couldn't have delayed it anymore. They like had to release it, and so no time to design a new ninja sprite, I guess.
Yeah, that's what the thing that went down the drain was, the ninja sprite. Yeah, I just thought that's so funny. Because you would think they would recreate a new one, but I guess because it's in black, like it's in a dark room, so you don't really get to see details. So I guess it wasn't necessary.
But that's part of it, is that they're kind of hidden. It's like a funny little. I mean, actually, have you watched the Nintendo Direct from today yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I literally cheered because they brought the Phanto mask back for Mario World, Mario Wonder. So I'm always a big sort of supporter of strange Mario Brothers 2 enemies. I mean, the strangest enemies of all in this game is the New Game Plus stuff. The weird pumpkin heads and the Mario head Koopas. Like, what is that about?
I have no clue. It's very Halloween. It's very fall, isn't it? Like it's because that's what I always think of. I think of fall when I look at those, because it's a pumpkin head. It's the Koopas dressing up as Mario. It feels very trick or treat.
It's just bizarre as a thing that's in a real game. It looks like a creepypasta, basically.
It is very creepypasta-y, isn't it? You tell somebody, oh yeah, what you do is you go into this star, it'll take you to a special world, you beat all those levels, then you get into another level, you beat all those. They're super hard, by the way, but when you get to the end of it, the whole world changes, and it sounds so fake.
Yeah, it's kind of like, maybe that's the origin story of a lot of those kinds of creepypastas, is that there was a real one once and it blew some kids' mind. I suppose the final like janky odd choice I want to talk about is the Goombas. Which have now been sort of retconned as the Galoombas, which I love. I love that they've brought them back. But what was the thinking there? Where like the most basic of enemies you see halfway through the game and they do not behave in any way like they used to.
Right. I looked it up. I tried to find something. I couldn't find anything about it. Have you?
Nope.
It's just they decided that Goombas are going to be round, chestnut shaped, and they're going to act a little different.
I wonder if it's because, like I said, they originally showed a very similar game, a Super Mario Bros. 3-esque Mario game at a trade show, and everything looked the same. And changing the Goomba was one of the very easy ways to be like, no, this is a whole new world.
Yeah, I think you might have something. I think you're right on that. That makes sense, actually. that makes too much sense.
Well, let's. What else would you like to talk about this game? I've definitely got a few more notes. I made.
Well, I touched upon it already, but Star World, what a cool concept! Just being able to like, you talk about seeing previews of future levels and stuff. Because like, I don't know, are you the type to not move forward until you complete 100% the area?
I am in some games.
Okay.
I've started honestly because of things like this podcast and kind of spoilers on the internet. I've started to become the like just get to the finish and then go back type gaming. I did that
Okay.
with Donkey Kong recently, and all the games for this podcast, I'm just like, just get to credits. But I definitely have been that in the past. I'm taking it that you are a completionist.
I'm a completionist, yeah. So like, so seeing this stuff early, it's one of those things where like I did the Star World, and then I went back and did all the things. Star World was like its own little area. I found that fascinating. I love the Force Illusion. The fact that they made it where it wasn't just simply beat a level and move forward. That's really cool. You know what I mean? You have to find a secret entrance to get to each part, I think.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love Bowser's Castle in general. Like you said, the disco ball, the party. I'm trying to think of the hidden area, above the ghost house. That was iconic. Finding that as a kid, and then basically going back there every time I've died to get to the power ups.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I really admired on this playthrough was the sense of humor in the game, and it kind of creeps up on you because at times early on it feels like, yeah, this is a good Mario game, this is fine, but when you start having those cutscenes of how Mario destroys the Koopa Castle each time and it just keeps going bigger and bigger, it feels like, you know, the comic type Super Mario Adventures or Super Mario Kart type stuff like actually is being part of the games now. Like, these are funny games.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it that way. But those cutscenes are really charming.
Even just like jumping on a Koopa now and they like fly out in their underwear is something that we're so used to, but is funny. It's like a surprise, I'm sure, to people who'd played Mario Brothers over and over again.
It's funny. You're making me realize how much the game inspired me. Like, I don't think about it that hard sometimes, but like, you know, because my clown game, there's a lot of comedic moments in it. There's a lot of things like that. Like, if you walk up to one enemy, it's scared, it will duck down and come back out. Like, so like I try to think of those little elements, like the Koopa popping out of the shell in their underwear. I try to think of little comedic moments, and Super Mario World inspired me more than I thought. Holy crap!
Yeah, I mean, another just final little thing that makes me laugh is Mario's death sprite is really funny. Like, his sort of shocked staring at you. I mean, obviously there's been like death sprites before, but they put so much tiny personality into that like horrid look that it kind of makes me laugh every time I die. Probably unintentional.
No, I think it was, yeah. That I actually, my clown sprite's based off of that one too. I love the front face, you know, just out of nowhere.
It's weird because I think the Sonic one is quite disturbing for some reason. I think that noise when he dies of like the it always sort of sends a weird chill down my spine, but this one just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So what finally other legacy sort of what legacy do you think this game has in terms of the rest of the franchise? Like,
well, I see it cited as a lot of people's favorites. I think people go back to it. I think people are still arguing whether or not Super Mario World. I legitimately saw people argue Super Mario World versus Super Mario Wonder.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is pretty impressive that this like 30-year-old game is still being brought up to games coming out just like last year. I think a lot of Mario's charm comes from Super Mario World. Like you said, you know, like the little elements of the comics are in there with the intro or the little cutscenes, little moments that like the just little charm. Because like Super Mario Brothers 3 is super technically impressive, and it's nice. But there is no little comedic moment like the Koopa popping out, you know? There's not those little things. And I think those little flourishes stick with people.
Well, you're almost mentioning a debate I've seen more online than the Mario Wonder one, which is is World better than Mario Brothers 3? Because there was so much anticipation for this game coming out, and I've heard it both ways, that it's either better or worse. I have a guest coming up in season 2 who is very much going to argue the Super Mario Bros. 3 is the better game. So would you like to take a moment to explain why you think Super Mario World is the better of the two?
Exploration, the sense of exploration. That's what I go back to. Because when you travel around Dinosaur Land, you legitimately explore Dinosaur Land. Which is weird because Super Mario Bros. 3, you explore 8 worlds, right? Like 8 different lands. But I still have a better sense of exploration with Super Mario World than I do with Super Mario Bros. 3.
World feels like a place. And there's a little, obviously you meet all the kings and they've been transformed and everything. But I still don't really know where Grassland is. Is that the Mushroom Kingdom or what? Dinosaur Land feels like you're going somewhere. And I think early on, graphically, it doesn't look too different to any other Mario game. But I love some of the, when you go into Vanilla Dome, it really feels like you're somewhere else. And my favorite kind of landscape type, I suppose, is that nighttime white turnip sort of level. I don't know how to describe it.
I know what you're talking about. It's the white hills with the little tuffle of leaves.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got the little bouncy green.
Oh, the little peas. They look like peas to me.
Yeah. I just think there's some really otherworldly, and I think Super Mario Bros. 3 has the same thing. I love Super Mario Bros. 3. I would possibly be on that side of the debate myself in terms of just sort of gameplay, but I do agree with you that World is the real it's the most you feel like a place. It really adds to the Mario worlds. We don't have Mario going back in time to meet dinosaurs. We now just accept that there's a dinosaur land in the Mario universe.
Yeah. I didn't even realize there were the dinosaur theme as a kid. To me, I just assumed it was also the Mushroom Kingdom when I was a dumb little child. Because it's set in the Mario world. But also I love that Yoshi's Island goes from this little tiny island with a house and a pool and a castle into this big sprawling thing in a sequel.
Yeah, it's like you've become Baby Mario, so the world's got bigger.
Yeah. That's really cool.
I love the dinosaur theme. Obviously, I was a dinosaur kid, and I loved Yoshi. I had a Yoshi. I got a Yoshi plush toy on the same Christmas that my brother got Ocarina of Time, and then I named myself in Ocarina of Time Yoshi because why not? I was a big Yoshi kid, and I think the dinosaur, most of the dinosaurs, haven't come back too much.
No.
Which is a bit of a shame. We saw the Resnors in, is it New Super Mario Bros. 2 or something? They definitely have come back once.
They did come back. You're right. Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
But my favorite design in the game is Rex, and he did come back in Mario and Luigi, but that was also now 20 years ago. And Rex is my pick in terms of obscure Mario enemies I want to be brought back. I think he'd fit in so well in Mario Kart World, and I'm a strong proponent that he should be Yoshi's Wario, not Boshi. Boshi's fine, but I think Rex should be Yoshi's evil twin.
I'd be down for that. I think that's cool. Little Yoshi with a horn.
I just think there's something very appealing about its design. I think I prefer it to Yoshi. I'm kind of like that. I'm sort of weird and dark, but
no, he's great. There's a lot of charm to it. I see a lot of people when they draw fan art with it, they draw him very Yoshi-like. So he's Yoshi with I'm with you. I subscribe to this. I want people Yoshi to be Rex.
Well, before we go, we've obviously praised this game a lot. Do you have any criticisms of it?
I think it's a little fast. I was because I picked it up this week to get refamiliarized with it, and it might be just the fact that I'm making my own game and my game's not as fast, but like I found myself running into stuff more than I had in the past. So I might have just lost my muscle memory. But I do think like Mario might run a little too quickly at some points.
I googled to see if he was more slippery in this game than previous games, because I felt like it was moving around all the time. I found it actually quite hard to like pixel perfect kind of avoid things in the game. Funnily enough, my criticism is kind of the opposite, which is not that it's too slow, but I feel like there's too many auto scroll or standing on a slow moving platform or like wait for something to move levels. I like them all individually, but when I was playing this week for this podcast, it seemed like every other level I was having to just like wait around for something to move. And it did annoy me a little bit.
Oh, I agree with that criticism. I do agree with that a lot. I hate all scroll levels. They are the bane of video games. They're up there with escort missions.
Yeah, and the thing is, like the auto scroll ones at least tell you that they're coming, but the amount of levels that are just like stand on this platform and avoid enemies, like they're fine, they're good, but a few too many I found. But that's pretty much my only criticism.
I would also say some of the game might be a little too easy too. When you have the cape, we didn't talk about the cape at all, which I find shocking.
No. But the cape, you can literally just skip levels with the cape.
Yeah. I have just this year learned how to actually control the cape. Like the thing. Like I finally got there's a YouTuber called Rae that's making recreating Super Mario World in Godot, the same engine that I'm using.
Nice.
And so like he's explaining the mechanicals from like the mechanicals. That's mechanic technical together. But he's talking about the mechanics in much more technical ways. And so like I'm a little bit more familiar with Super Mario World from a technical side now because of those videos. I'll link them to you. I think you would really enjoy them.
Yeah, I mean, I did not understand how to use the cape as a kid. I think my older brothers did, and that was the kind of cutoff of who was a grown-up and who was still a child. But yeah, I understand them now. I can't always use them, but if you can basically skip a lot of levels.
Yeah.
And Yoshi as well is somewhat overpowered. I mean, you still lose him quite easily, but you know, you can keep him for pretty much every level and does make everything a bit easier.
I mean, he's basically makes you invincible if you know how to get back on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, we are. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
So, who is your main in Mario Kart and Mario Kart spin-offs in general?
Daisy.
Yeah,
you thought it was gonna be Bowser, didn't you?
Daisy would have been a fourth or fifth, but you know, Daisy is also a queer icon, and 100%. Which obscure Mario character or enemy it could be from this game, would you like to see brought back to the regular roster?
Oh crap! Well, Rex. I know it's a really easy answer. I'm playing to you, but you're right. Rex needs to come back.
I just think he'd look good. So you've designed your own Koopa Sona in the past, who is very adorable. What would your castle and boss fight be like?
Boss fight. I thought it was gonna be location. I thought that was the question. Boss fight. Oh crap. I would summon giant hamburgers. I know it's really weird, but I love the iconicness of like fast food and desserts and stuff. So I would summon food that would try to crush you.
Yeah, something we didn't really mention, but the Koopa battles are really fun in this. Some of them are way too easy, and you can just jump on them 3 times. But I love the pipe ones and just the tippy turny things. It's all really fun. Where in Dinosaur Land would you put your castle?
Okay, so that's the one I know. Star Road. There's no castle there. Prime real estate.
And you are a star.
Yeah.
So what power would Yoshi gain if he swallowed you?
So when I was like, he's not Kirby, and then I realized, different shell colors give you different abilities. You just barf.
Mario Sunshine style, just like. Finally, bit of a weird question, but smash, marry, kill Bowser, Wart, Tatanga.
Well, I want to keep Bowser around, so I'll marry him.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably smash Wart and kill Tatanga.
Very interesting choice.
There's no choice in this combination that would not be interesting.
I suppose. Also, you don't want to kill Bowser and leave Bowser Jr. without a parent.
Yeah, no, poor Bowser Jr.
Well, thank you very, very much for being on a Super Mario Moment. This was a really great chat, and the game is so hard to summarize and only talk about for an hour. Before we go, would you like to do a final plug for yourself, where we can find you and your upcoming game?
Yeah, my name is so on most social media, I'm Izzi8Bit, and in October, this will come out after this. I have a game coming out called Sunny Bell and Just a Jest, and I would hope for you guys to play it. It's gonna be free. It's a demo. It's just I just want to get it in people's hands, and I can't wait to see people's reactions to it.
I genuinely can't wait. I've been waiting for, even though I only really found out about it recently, I've been waiting for it spiritually for years because I'm such a big fan of your work. Thank you for coming on. You've been a wonderful guest. I am just going to remind everyone, this has been our season finale. We are taking a short break, about a month or less. We will be back officially on October 20th for season 2. And I am going to do some little live specials between there, so you won't miss me for too long. And if you're watching this on week of release, I just need to do one final plug. I'm doing a book tour the following Saturday, September 20th and 21st. If you happen to be in England, and especially if you happen to be in Leeds, Manchester, Newcastle, or York, I will be signing Go Man, Champion of Earth, my new book, at the Traveling Man stores, and you can pick up a free bookmark if you're there. It'd be great to see you. Super Mario Moment is a proud member of the GlitterJaw Queer Podcasting Collective. There's so many other shows on this collective that you can tune into while we're on our little hiatus. I especially recommend Lee Carvalho's Podding Challenge, the Simpsons gaming podcast. If you happen to love games and Nintendo history, they talk about a lot. But until then, thank you so much. And I have to just say one final bye-bye, Bowser.